But right now, our pleasure to bring in back in Brooklyn. He is Pete Sousa, covers the NBA and NBA DL, 7 years in front offices with Charlotte and Philadelphia, and he is with us tonight, working up in Brooklyn, and with us right now here on ESPN 980. And what was the reaction, Pete, when the Cleveland Cavaliers got this unpredictable draft started off very well, unpredictably?
Well, I tell you what, it seemed like the last guy to know was Bennett himself.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely shocked. I had a good look at that green room area, and the smile on his face, as I'm sure you guys saw on TV, was ear to ear. But it was definitely a surprise to him, and it just shows, how this became a guessing game and how close to the vest Cleveland really kept things throughout the day.
Pete, I want to ask you also about the crowd there. What's the Nets versus Knicks breakdown inside the arena?
It's all Nets. I mean, this is Brooklyn, and pretty much these are all Nets fans. Especially with the Knicks picking as late as they do, it'd be difficult to be able to tell. But I know this: when they showed LeBron on the big screen, the in-house feed, there were a lot of boos, a lot of boos. But I'll tell you, the one thing that didn't come as a surprise, guys, as I'm sure you know, was the Otto Porter selection. And maybe that had something to do with the fact that since David Falk walked in here at 5 p.m., he was on the phone. And, obviously good relationships with the Wizards front office. But that came as a surprise to no one.
Yeah, that definitely didn't. The Bobcats, as they've tend to do, did surprise some folks with Cody Zeller, though.
Yeah, they did. And you know what? That's probably a pretty good pick for them. Zeller can get up and down the floor, and they're going to try to push it up tempo-wise. And, I was fearful of a guy like McLemore ending up there, somebody like that you say is timid on and off the court. You don't want to see him getting put into a situation with Charlotte where the infrastructure there is kind of suspect. Zeller is the type of guy that can handle it. But, and you talk about an Indiana guy getting drafted fourth. Well, the Indiana guy that got drafted second, just to give you a window into the character of Oladipo, he seems more excited about his teammate getting drafted fourth than himself getting drafted 2 moments ago in the press room.
Yeah, Victor Oladipo's a good kid and graduated early, real smart guy, and was certainly obviously wowed Orlando to the point where, Ben McLemore went from being the second pick all the way down to the 7th with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, well, how about number 6, Nerlens Noel, who
just
got dealt to Philadelphia? I can tell you a story from my experience when I was doing public relations for the Bobcats. We selected Brandon Wright with the 7th pick in 2007, and I was told, hey, we just selected Brandon Wright. You're going to walk him through this draft circuit, but don't tell him he's not a Bobcat till he's finished. Keep that hat on him. And you know what? We got into the green room, and David Falk, friends with Michael Jordan, looked at myself and Brandon Wright, and he said, you're not keeping him. And, of course, we didn't, and Brandon is still pretty upset with me, I think.
That is some funny stuff. I mean, it's so weird how these things happen, and I've just also seen Trey Burke is going to Utah, it looks like, for a couple draft picks, who Minnesota took at number 9. So Minnesota is not collecting all the point guards after all.
No, they're not, but they could be active with that 16th pick, 26th pick. I've told that our man, your man, Flip Saunders, is looking to make some waves. And this is the point in the draft where I think we are going to see some activity. That spot as we get closer. We just talked about Philadelphia. Well, then we got Oklahoma City, Boston possibly with the Nets, as we talked about. Keep an eye on the Mavericks, who trying to clear cap space for Dwight Howard. And Houston could get in on the act, trying to do the same thing, even though they don't have a pick.
Could Gravis Vasquez maybe be traded? There was talks about that. And now that you got Holiday going down to New Orleans, looks like Vasquez could be on his way out for being a Pelican.
You got a logjam at the point guard position. And on the flip side of that, you got the Sixers who just played all season with one hurt big man. Well, they just got another one coming on board. So trying to make sense of that one, but hopefully they'll all be ready to go for them.
Yeah, I think it's very clear that Bynum's days in Philly are done. I mean, he'll never have suited up for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think that's what it says when they pick Noel.
Well, yeah, and you're exactly right. And when general manager Hinkie of the Sixers says, hey, we look at Andrew Bynum as the other 1,000 free agents out there in America. And you're right. I think this kind of solidifies that.
All right, hey, Pete, good stuff. We'll catch up with you a little bit later on as well as things continue to get interesting in Brooklyn. Thank you.
You got it, folks.